Chosen one, what I'm about to tell you might amaze you. If you're watching this video right now, it's not by accident. They've been looking for you for over 300 years and have finally found you. The universe has brought you here because something monumental is happening in your life. You are the lost royal heir, and your destiny is now being played out. You are awakening to the fact that the things you've been hoping for and waiting for are no longer far-off dreams. They are now a reality. This isn't just a change in perspective. You are reclaiming your true birthright as the chosen one. Things are about to fall into place in ways you never thought possible, but you need to know how this works in order to fully align with this powerful transformation and step into the manifestation of your royal legacy. Changing the message. Take a break from the video and do these 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 40,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 11. This number will send a signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this video. And remember, if you are truly the chosen one, you'll watch this video to the end because deep down your spirit already knows that this message is for you. If you're not ready to receive this truth, you might not make it to the end, but for those who do, your life will never be the same. Now let's uncover the truth about who you truly are. For years, the people of the kingdom have lived in the shadow of a broken promise. The throne, once a symbol of strength and justice, now stands empty, abandoned by the true ruler who disappeared long ago in their place. False leaders have risen, claiming power and control over a people who have long suffered under their rule. But despite the years of oppression, the hearts of the people have never wavered. They still believe in the legend of the true ruler, the one destined to return and restore order. The kingdom may have forgotten its rightful heir, but the heir has never forgotten the kingdom. Every generation has grown up under the same lie, that the heir was nothing more than a myth, a fairy tale told to pacify the masses. But deep down, the people knew the truth. They knew that the promise of the heir's return was not an idle one. There were rumors that they were going to arrive soon, and people who dared to dream had hope for a better future. The promise of justice and a ruler who would heal the wounds of the past kept the fire of hope alive, even when it seemed like all was lost. The heir's arrival will bring more than just a change in leadership. It will reignite the very soul of the kingdom. The people who are tired of living in the shadow of tyranny will rise up and welcome the one they have been waiting for their whole lives. The heir will not be a stranger to them because they have been a part of their story. The land will recognize them, and the air and winds will carry the songs of a time when hope was not just a distant memory, but a living, breathing reality. The real king or queen has returned, and with them comes a new era. But the old order won't give up without a fight. The false rulers, who are deeply entrenched in their power, will fight to keep control of the kingdom with every weapon at their disposal. They know their time is running out, and they won't go quietly into the night. But the people, who are the real strength of the kingdom, will stand with their rightful king or queen. The heir's arrival will be the start of the end for the old god. The winds of change are blowing, and no amount of resistance can stop them now. For centuries, the world has felt the stirrings of something or someone just out of reach. There was a palpable energy in the air of force that seemed to linger just beyond the edge of perception. The rulers, the powerful, and the elite may not have known who the heir was, but they all felt it. The presence of the lost heir was like a shadow that loomed over every decision, every power play, every shift in the winds of change. They were never seen, but they were always there, their influence growing with every passing day in the courts of kings and queens, among the generals and the advisors. There was an unspoken tension, the quiet fear that grew as the years went on. The air, though unseen, was always felt, and in every battle, every war, every political maneuver, there was the knowledge that the air was not only watching but preparing. Their absence had given way to a sense of control, but deep down those who ruled knew the truth, that power was never theirs to hold. The air's influence moved through the kingdom like an undercurrent, shaping events and guiding the hands of destiny. Unseen but never forgotten, the air's power was like the rising tide, ever present, never fully seen, but always felt. It was a force of nature, the world's very foundations trembling as it gained strength. Those who were wise understood that the air would one day return, and when they did, they would bring with them a storm of change. The air's presence was a promise, a silent vow that the rightful ruler would not remain hidden forever. The world could ignore them for now, but they could not escape the inevitable. The air's time was approaching, and their return would bring with it the upheaval the world so desperately needed. But the air was not merely a force of nature, they were a force of destiny, and as they stepped closer to reclaiming their throne, the world would no longer be able to deny their presence. The old order would crumble under the weight of the truth that had always been there, hidden in plain sight. The wind was coming, and everything was about to change. The whispers of the wind would now be seen in the actions that reshaped the world. The fate of the kingdom has always been tied to forces beyond the comprehension of those in power. For years, the ruling elite believed they had shaped the kingdom's destiny, molding it according to their will and desires. But as the years passed, cracks began to form in their carefully constructed facade. The people, once content with their illusions, began to question the authority that held them captive. They felt something stirring within the land, an energy they could not explain but knew was powerful. This force, though unseen, was always there, guiding the people, guiding the kingdom towards something greater. This force was not bound by the laws of kings or the will of emperors. It was not something that could be controlled by wealth or military might. It was the power of destiny, of fate, and it had been waiting for the right moment to awaken. The kingdom's rulers thought they were untouchable, but they were unaware that the very fabric of their power was being unraveled by something far beyond their understanding. The unseen force was not a fleeting presence, it was a constant, ever-growing influence, slowly shaping the future. As the air's presence grew stronger, so too did the tremors that ran through the kingdom. The power that once seemed invincible now appeared. Fragile, the people, though unaware of the specifics, could feel the air shift, as though the world was about to turn on its axis. What was once certain was now uncertain. The kingdom's fate had always been intertwined with the air's, and with their return, the kingdom would be remade, restructured, and rebalanced. The forces that once ruled with an iron fist would find their grip slipping as the air's presence grew undeniable. The coming of the air was not a simple change in leadership. It was the awakening of the kingdom's soul. This was not just a royal return. It was a moment of reckoning, of rediscovery. The air would bring with them not just the promise of a new era, but the power to restore balance to a world teetering on the edge of collapse. The unseen force that had guided the kingdom's destiny would finally reveal itself in full force, and with it, everything. The time of silence has ended for too long. The air's existence was a closely guarded secret, and their presence was only hinted at in the most private parts of the kingdom. But now the air steps into the light as they emerge from the shadows where they have patiently waited, hidden but always present. The world that once doubted their existence is now facing them head-on. Face the fact that can't be argued with. The air breaks the illusion of control that others held so dear with every step they take. The world will never be the same as they rise to claim what was always theirs. Their arrival will send shockwaves across the lands like the first crack of thunder before a storm as they take their rightful place. The air is a much stronger force than any one person. They carry the weight of centuries of lost hope for kingdoms destroyed by tyranny and fear, but in their eyes there is not vengeance, but purpose, a deep understanding of what needs to be fixed. With their rise, the land seems to breathe again, reborn by the promise of justice and the start of a new era. Years have passed, and this is no longer the story of a single person wanting power. It is now the story of the kingdom's collective. Awakening people from all walks of life will be able to speak out when the heir comes back. The heir is not just a boss, they are a symbol and a light for the oppressed, the forgotten, and the dreamers. When they come, they stir up something deep inside the people that makes them want to act, fight, and take back what was lost. The heir born in shadow now claims the light as their own, but with their rise comes the inevitable clash. The forces that used to have complete control will not give up easily. They will try to use every trick and weapon they have to stop the heir from taking the throne as their rightful owner. But the heir is more than just a monarch. They are a force of destiny, and fate cannot be stopped. The time for shadows has passed. Now the world will see the full force of the royal heir, and nothing will stand in their way. The old order was built on lies and manipulation, and it is about to fall apart. People who used to rule with an iron fist, lead armies, and change the world with a gesture are suddenly terrified that their hold on the kingdom is weakening, and they will do anything to keep it. The return of the heir threatens to destroy everything they've built, and they will do anything to keep their empire together. Fear fills the palace halls and the hearts of those who thought they were unbeatable. The heir's presence is an existential threat to everything they've worked for, and they know they can't beat the heir with armies or force. This battle is different. It's a war of wills, a fight for the kingdom's very soul. The old order will lie to win. They use all of their power to trick and betray the heir's claim, but the more they fight, the more their flaws become clear, and the more the people see the truth, the more the old rulers show that they can't change or adapt. They represent an old way of thinking that is based on fear, control, and subjugation. The heir, on the other hand, represents a new dawn, a future where power is earned through wisdom, compassion, and justice, not taken by force. The old ORD's refusal to change will only speed up their fall. As the heir rises, the structure they used to control the kingdom starts to break apart, and with each crack, more people see the light. The battle ahead will be tough, but it has already been won. The heir is the rightful ruler, and no amount of trickery or manipulation will stop them from getting back what was stolen. The old order is over, and soon the world will see the end of an era that has stayed too long. Even though they have been hidden for so long, the heir's power has grown with each year. Even when they weren't there, the kingdom could not escape the effects of their bloodlines. Every fight, moment of unrest, and political change were the heir's power at work. The heir wasn't a passive figure waiting in the shadows. It was a force that moved through the kingdom's veins. Now that they're in the light, their influence can't be denied. The people's faith in the heir has never wavered. They have long believed in the promise of a better future that would only come when the rightful ruler returned. This belief has led to revolutions, rebellions, and the unification of the kingdoms. The heir's presence has been a rallying cry, a reason to fight, and a symbol of hope for many, but their power has been unseen for hundreds of years, and now it's ready to take its rightful place at the helm of the kingdom. But the air's influence goes beyond politics. It's also spiritual, emotional, and even elemental. The land responds to them as if it remembers when the real king walked its land. The return of the air will stir the hearts of those who thought they had lost everything. It will bring back long-lost hopes, bring new life to forgotten dreams, and balance back to a world that is about to fall apart. The air is the kingdom's power pulse that will lead it back to where it belongs. As their influence grows, those who have tried to suppress the air will feel their control weaken. The more the air asserts themselves, the more the kingdom will shift in their favor. The old powers will be forced to acknowledge the truth. The air's rise is not just inevitable, it is necessary for the survival of the kingdom. Their power is not just a political tool, it is the very force that will renew and heal a fractured world. The time for waiting has come to an end. The throne, long abandoned and left in the hands of those unworthy, will finally be reclaimed by its true heir. This is not merely the return of a monarch, this is the fulfillment of a prophecy that has spanned centuries. The heir, whose name was whispered in legends and whose legacy lived on in the hearts of the people, is finally here to take their rightful place at the helm of the kingdom. No longer will they be hidden in the shadows. They are stepping into the light, and with them a new chapter begins. The kingdom that once seemed lost, filled with false rulers and broken promises, will soon know the stability and justice it has longed for. The heir's return is not just a personal victory, it is the return of hope itself. The people who have suffered for so long under the rule of tyrants will find solace in the arrival of a leader who understands their pain, their struggles, and their dreams. The heir is not a stranger. They are the expression of what the kingdom wants as a whole. As the heir rises to the throne, their power will be undeniable, but their real strength will come from being able to bring the kingdom together. The false leaders, knowing that their time is up, will try to hold on to the throne, but it will be too late. The heir's rise isn't just a matter of politics, it's a call to arms for everyone who has suffered under the old order. With each step, the heir brings the kingdom closer to the peace and prosperity it deserves. The true king's return marks the start of a new era. It is the end of tyranny and the start of a world where justice, equality, and compassion are the norm. Reign and the people will support their leader. Together they know that their true king or queen has returned. The throne is no longer a sign of evil and abuse. It is now a beacon of hope and a guiding light for everyone who wants a better future. As the heir's power spreads across the land, the old powers are no longer able to control it. People who thought they were in charge of the kingdom's future are now desperate because they know they can't hold on to their thrones, their privileges, or the power they gained illegally. They know that joining forces with the chosen one could be their only chance to stay alive, but this isn't an easy alliance. It is a last-ditch effort by people who can see their world falling apart in front of their eyes, may try to control the heir to get the heir to do what they want, but they don't realize how strong the heir is. The heir isn't a pawn to be played with. The heir is the true ruler, and their heart is with the people, not the corrupt elite. Those who have long ruled through lies and fear will have to learn that real power can't be bought or traded. It has to be earned. The heir won't be swayed by empty promises or false allegiances. They won't be controlled by the old powers. This isn't a time for negotiations. It's a time for reckoning. As they try to find their place in the new world, they will have to face the results of their actions. The kingdom they used to rule with an iron fist is no longer theirs to command. The people no longer serve them, they serve the truth, and the air represents that truth. The old powers are losing control, and as they scramble to stay alive, the air moves ever closer to their ultimate victory. There will be those who fight to the bitter end, believing they can still keep their place in this new world, but their efforts will be for nothing. The air will rise, and those who used to be at the top of the kingdom's hierarchy will find their influence reduced. The time for manipulating has passed. The chosen one is here to take what is rightfully theirs, and nothing will stop them. There are some things that stand in the way of recovering the throne. The heir may be bound for great things, but their path won't be easy. Many people will fight against their rise, not because they want the throne, but because they're afraid of losing everything they've worked for. The old order won't give up quietly. They'll fight, they'll lie, and they'll try to bring down the heirs at every turn. The problems facing the heir aren't just on the outside, they're deeply rooted in the kingdom's people and its very identity. People the heir used to trust will betray them, and people who want to weaken their claim will use politics to do it. They are the result of hundreds of years of struggle and survival, and their heart was forged in the fires of hardship. Each challenge is a chance to show how strong they are, to rise higher, and to solidify their position as the true ruler. They will not be stopped by fear or deceit. They are destiny itself, and no force. No one, not even the strongest, will be able to put out that fire. The heir's resolve will only grow stronger. With each battle and betrayal, they will learn what it really costs to be a leader. They will know how heavy the crown is and what it takes to return the kingdom to its rightful place. But they won't give up. The people will rally around them, and their strength will inspire a new generation of leaders who will fight with them for a better future. The heir knows that they are not alone. The people will fight for them, and together they will weather the storm. When it's over, they will be victorious, with their throne secured and their kingdom restored. The journey of the heir has never been easy or comfortable. From the start, their life was marked by hardship in secret places, away from the eyes of those who wanted to control them. The heir has been forged in the furnace of struggle. Each test they've had to go through was an important step toward their true fate. The heir has been tested in ways that most people will never understand, but it is this very struggle that has made them into the leader the kingdom needs to get through its darkest days. The heir's struggles aren't just physical, they're also emotional and mental. Every choice they've made and every sacrifice they've made has been part of the delicate balance that will prepare them for the monumental task ahead. They have been taught to be strong in their beliefs while remaining humble. They know that real power isn't about control or dominance, but about serving the greater good, even if it means sacrificing yourself. This has guided them on their journey, and it will be this wisdom that helps them break the chains of oppression and restore balance to the land. They learned the value of their voice through struggle, betrayal, and fear. Each struggle has made them wiser, more aware of the needs of the people, and more determined to bring justice to those who have been oppressed for a long time. Through these challenges, they have learned that leadership is not a title or a privilege, but a duty to those who depend on them. The heir's soul has been hardened by struggle, making them unbreakable in the face of trouble. Every test they've faced has been necessary because it has made them ready to take back the throne. As they step forward, they are no longer just the lost heir. They are the true ruler, shaped by hardship and guided by destiny, ready to bring about the change the kingdom has been waiting for. In the quietest moments of history, change often starts out slowly and is hard to accept at first, but in the end, it's undeniable. The kingdom had been held together by an old order that was based on fear, manipulation, and the suffering of its people for generations. Can't be touched, but all it takes is one moment. The heir's return has set the stage for this huge change. It only took one moment for the walls of the old order to start to fall down. The very foundations of the kingdom are shaking with excitement. The air is thick with a sense of impending change, as if the earth has been waiting for this moment for hundreds of years. Those who once ruled with pride and disregard for the common people are starting to feel the first tremors of the coming storm. Their hold on power, which once seemed absolute, now feels weak and short-lived. This isn't just the fall of a monarchy, it's the fall of a whole way of life. The old systems, which were based on lies and manipulation, will not be able to stand up to the pressure of truth and justice. His rise will bring about a huge change in how the kingdom works. People who were silenced and mistreated will find their voice again and demand their rights, freedom, and dignity. The gates of the old order are crumbling, and there is no turning back as the walls of the old order fall. There will be new chances, and the people will be able to rebuild their world on principles of fairness, equality, and unity. But change is never easy, and the heir will face opposition from both inside the kingdom and from outside. Beyond, the heirs will not give up, even if the gates fall down. They are the key to the future of the kingdom, and nothing will stop them as they lead the way to a new age. What is a storm if not the start of something new? It's a natural force that shakes the earth, changes the scenery, and leaves behind a world that will never be the same. The rise of the royal heir is more than just a political event. It's a storm of transformation that will forever change the kingdom's fate. When the heirs step into their role, they unleash a wave of change that will sweep across the land, destroying the old and making room for the new. The heir's presence is like the first gust of wind before a storm, getting stronger and more obvious every day. The old order, which was already weak, will be caught off guard by how quickly and violently the heir's rise happens. What was once thought to be unchangeable is now falling apart, its foundations being worn away by the sheer force of the heir's vision. The heir is full of energy and excitement about what's to come. The kingdom is on the verge of a revolution, a transformation of everything that was once thought to be certain. But storms are unpredictable, and as the heir rises, so will the chaos that follows. Those who want to fight the change will try to rally against it, using what little power they have to fight the storm. The people will be torn between the comfort of the old and the promise of the new. The heir will have to navigate this rough terrain with wisdom and determination, knowing that the storm is not only necessary but inevitable. In the end, the storm of transformation will pass, but the world it leaves behind will be forever changed. The rise of the heir will leave the country with a strength, courage, and unity that will last forever. The storm will have cleared the path for a new era, one where the people are no longer subjects, but sovereigns in their own right. And at the heart of it all stands the royal heir, their power unshakable, their purpose fulfilled for centuries. The kingdom has been held in the grip of illusions, falsehoods crafted by those in power to maintain control, to keep the people blind to the truth. These illusions built on deception and manipulation have kept the masses in a state of submission, but the return of the royal heir is the disruption of all that. The heir is not just a leader. They are the force that will shatter these illusions, breaking the chains that have bound the kingdom for so long. The heir's return is a wake-up call, a reminder that the truth cannot be hidden forever. The lies that have been woven into the kingdom's fabric will begin to unravel one by one. The people will see through the smokescreen of propaganda and manipulation. They will recognize that the system that has kept them oppressed for so long is built on nothing but empty promises and falsehoods, and they will demand change. The disruption of these illusions will not come without resistance. Those who have benefited from the old ways will fight tooth and nail to maintain the facade. They will cling to their power, even as it slips away from their grasp. But the air is relentless, and the truth is unstoppable. The more the air disrupts the illusions, the more the people will awaken to their own power. The air's rise is not just the reclamation of a throne, it is the reclamation of reality, the dismantling of the false world that has held the kingdom captive. As the illusions break apart, a new world will emerge, one where truth, justice, and freedom. As the last pieces of the old world fall apart, Rain the Air will lead the way through the ruins of the old and into the dawn of a new age. For the first time in hundreds of years, the kingdom will be free from those who wanted to control it. The time has finally come. The lost heir has returned, bringing healing to a kingdom that had been split up and controlled by evil for a long time. What was thought to be lost has been found, and the heir's ascension to the throne marks the start of a new era. This isn't just the return of a ruler, it's also the return of hope in a future that people used to think wasn't possible. Beyond reach, when the heir comes back, the kingdom is not the same as the one they left behind. Years of tyranny have left the land scarred, and the people tired and disappointed. But the heir's return lights a flame of renewal, a promise that things can be different with their guidance. The kingdom will heal, the wounds of the past will start to close, and the people will rebuild what was lost. This is a time to restore not only a throne, but the very soul of the kingdom. As the heir tries to right the wrongs of the past, they will face many challenges, but they are not alone on this trip. The people, united in their desire for a better future, will stand by their true ruler and work with them to reclaim the kingdom piece by piece. It will be brought back to its former glory. The heir's return is the start of a new story full of promise, potential, and endless possibilities. Not the end of the story, but the start of a better one. The return of the sun has made things possible. A kingdom. As the first light of a new day rises over the land, the people will look to their rightful ruler with hope, knowing that the kingdom is finally home again. For generations, there have been whispers of an ancient prophecy that said the kingdom would be restored by a forgotten heir. The prophecy was written in dusty scrolls and passed down in secret conversations. Few people really believed it, but it had always been there, an undeniable thread in the history of the kingdom. Now that the heir comes back, the prophecy is no longer just a story, it is happening right in front of their eyes. This vague and uncertain prophecy has become the main source of hope for people who have been oppressed by the ruling class for a long time. It spoke of a leader emerging from the shadows who would free the kingdom's people from their chains and bring order back to a world that had become chaotic. People who first thought it was a fairy tale now see it as true. Now they see how true it is. The lost heir steps forward, ready to fulfill the ancient words that have been waiting to be fulfilled for hundreds of years. This prophecy is more than just a prediction. It's the people's deepest hope that one day someone would come to fight for them and take back what was lost. It's the promise of a new dawn, a kingdom where the oppressed are no longer silenced and where justice will reign. And with every step they take toward the throne, the kingdom gets closer to its rightful rebirth. Earth is now at a crossroads. The question isn't whether the prophecy will come true, it's how the people will rise to meet their destiny. The heir's journey is one of reclaiming not just a crown, but an entire legacy. People have been waiting for them, and their rise marks the beginning of a new chapter that will be written in the blood and sacrifice of those who refuse to let the prophecy fade into oblivion. In the heart of the kingdom, there is a story that has been lost to time, a story of a royal bloodline that once ruled with wisdom, strength, and compassion. Over the years, the royal family faded into myth and legend, and the memory of their reign was buried beneath layers of lies and betrayal. But with the heir's return, this forgotten bloodline is found, and it holds the key to restoring the kingdom to its former glory. The royal legacy was never really gone, it was just hidden and sealed. The people who wanted to rule the kingdom used fear and manipulation to hide the truth from the people who needed it the most. But now that the heir is moving forward, they bring the full weight of their ancestry with them, an ancestry full of knowledge, honor, and a deep link to the land. The bloodline isn't just a sign of power, it's the true spirit of the kingdom. As the heir reveals the secrets of their lineage, they begin to understand how responsible they are. This is not just about reclaiming a throne, it is about reawakening a legacy that has been dormant for centuries. The wisdom passed down through generations holds the answers to the kingdom's greatest challenges, and the heir's role is to revive this ancient knowledge and restore balance to a world that has long been out of sync. The rediscovery of the royal bloodline is not just a personal journey for the heir, it is a journey that will affect every citizen of the kingdom as the people learn the truth of their history. They will be emboldened to rise alongside the heir, reclaiming their own dignity and sense of purpose together. They will honor the legacy of those who came before them and forge a future worthy of the royal bloodline's return. Behind every legend, there are those who work in the shadows, silent protectors who ensure the story unfolds as it was meant to for centuries. A secret order of guardians has watched over the lost heir, protecting them from those who would seek to destroy the future of the kingdom. These protectors, unknown to the world, have quietly guided the heir on their journey, ensuring that the rightful ruler would one day reclaim their destiny. The unseen guardians are more than just guardians. They are also the keepers of ancient knowledge and the ones who have kept the flame of hope alive during dark times for generations. They have taught the heirs their knowledge, preparing them for the trials they would face. These guardians have fought quietly in the background, giving up their own lives to make sure the heirs would live. Now that the heirs are close, the guardians come out of the shadows, ready to fight for the future they have always believed in.